Hello everyone, today we will be assessing two separate educational softwares. My name is Sagrario.
I'm Siena,
And I'm Wendy.
and welcome to our podcast. So we're just going to jump right in and tell you about our assessment tool that we designed to analyze these software games, since there's not many of these assessments available currently.
So for our assessment, we looked at 7 main things. One of the big things we looked at was whether the game was interactive and engaging. So our criteria for classifying a game as interactive and engaging was that it kept the child engaged by using things such as like colorful, fun, interesting images, and that the themes were relatable and that the content was relatable as well. Another thing we looked for was making sure that the child could interact with the game and their responses influence the outcome of the game. Another thing we were looking for when assessing our games was that the game was challenging. We looked to see if the child was being challenged by the game, and the main reason why we looked for this was because we knew that if the child wasn't being challenged enough, they were less likely to continue using the game because they would get bored faster. And we also made sure that that it was challenging for the average child in the grade for which the game was being advertised towards. Another important thing we looked for was if the game was meaningful, meaning that it was relevant content for the grade level, and if the game related to what they were learning and the educational standards for their age. Um, another tool that we measured was if it met educational goals, such as literacy, or mathematical concepts, etc. We also looked for to see if the game was objective or had goal clarity, such as like the goals were obvious for the child that age, and that the game was clear for the child that age. Another big thing we looked at was if the game was easy to navigate for the child for which the target age group was. This was important because if it was a younger child and they made a really complicated website, the child was less likely to be able to find the game they were looking for and complete the task. We also really took into consideration accessibility because we wanted to make sure that this game was accessible for children of all socioeconomic statuses.
So in our taking our assessment into account, we analyzed 2 different educational software games that we found, and we kind of learned that one of them seemed pretty positive for kids and teaching educational skills, and one of them not so much. So I'll start with the positive one, and that was Starfall. So Starfall is a website online, or it can also be an app for iPad. There's games from ages pre-K to about 3rd grade, and we kind of focused on the 1st through 3rd grade category. In terms of it being interactive and engaging, from what we saw, we believed it was interactive and engaging because in some of the games, not all of the games, but a lot of the games, children were able to pick characters of their choice or design their own character, and the games were also interactive. For example, there was a game where it was teaching adding fractions, and it was like Halloween themed, and the children had to click the correct answer for the addition problem, like they had to click the correct answer on a number line. So they had to directly interact with the game in that way. We also felt that this software was challenging for the age group it targeted because it met grade level standards and so on. It was also meaningful for that same reason, is that it matched the educational standards for that grade level. Going back to the fractions game example, adding fractions is taught in 3rd grade and 2nd grade, and so it would kind of match with their learning in school, hopefully. And we felt that the educational goals were pretty clear. There was topics when you clicked on every game so you could see what it was teaching. And then we also believed it was easy to navigate for kids. The homepage had large icons for the kids to click on. It was colorful. It was easy to see what the topic for each game was so they could select the one of their choice. And finally, we also believed that the accessibility was pretty good. Most of the games on Starfall are free. There are some you have to pay extra for, but for the most part they were free, so as long as you have internet, you would be able to access these games no matter what your SES.
And the second game was the spelling game on Disney.com. This game was called Pirate Fairy Code, which was advertised as an educational spelling game that put children's working memory to work. And as an interactive and engaging game, we found that it was pretty interactive and engaging because it contained like a fun theme and fun images and well-known characters that children could familiarize themselves with. And challenging, we thought it was pretty challenging, but not in a helpful way, because it had a timer that it was also like pressuring the child to get a correct answer instead of allowing the child to take their time to learn.
Yeah, and even like as the timer was going on, it was making this ticking noise, which like I don't know, it made me feel extremely pressured. So I can't imagine
Stressful,
how a child
yeah.
that age would feel.
Definitely. And for our meaningful criteria, we thought that it was not meaningful because the children had to there was like scatter words that they needed to like
It was
spell.
like fill in the blanks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it was just not age appropriate because it had some words that were too easy for the age that it was being advertised for. And there was even some words on there that even us, we didn't even know the meaning of. So we were wondering if maybe it was like since the theme of the game was like pirates, we were wondering if they were like pirate words but I don't know. But it was just kind of difficult. And for educational goals, they did aim to teach spelling, but not words that were age appropriate. The game was easy to navigate, and in terms of accessibility, we believe that this game is pretty accessible for any child of any socioeconomic status.
So yeah, those are the two educational softwares we analyzed. Overall, we felt that Starfall was more educationally effective. And yeah, that's all we have for you today. We hope you enjoyed our podcast.
Thank you so much.